Once, Tony Robbins was speaking at a small seminar hall filled with people. Everyone was excited, clapping, and waiting for motivation. But in the last row, there was a young man sitting quietly. His face looked tired, his eyes were full of pain, and deep inside, he had already given up on life. After the seminar ended, the young man slowly walked toward Tony Robbins and said in a weak voice, "Sir, I'm poor. I have no money, no support, no luck. Every time I try, I fail. Maybe success is not made for people like me." Tony Robbins looked at him for a few seconds without saying a word. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a $100 bill. He raised it in the air and asked the audience, "Who wants this money?" Almost every hand in the room went up. Then Tony Robbins crumpled the bill in his hand, threw it on the floor, stepped on it, and picked it up again. He looked at the audience and asked, "Who still wants it?" Again, every hand went up. Tony Robbins smiled and turned toward the young man. "This," he said, "is exactly what life does to people. Life will crush you. It will throw you down. It will make you feel worthless. People will reject you. Failures will break you. But no matter what happens, your value never decreases." The young man stayed silent. Tony Robbins stepped closer and asked him, "What do you say to yourself every single day?" The young man looked down and whispered, "I tell myself that I'm a failure." Tony Robbins suddenly said in a powerful voice, "That is your real prison. A person is not destroyed by failure. A person is destroyed by the belief that they are nothing." The entire hall became silent. Then Tony Robbins invited the young man onto the stage. He looked directly into his eyes and said, "Say this loudly. I am not weak. I am not a failure. I can rise again." At first, the young man spoke softly. Then louder again. Tears began rolling down his face. Tony Robbins placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "The world cannot defeat a man who refuses to quit. Success does not belong to the strongest people. Success belongs to the people who keep getting up after every fall." Those words changed the young man forever. From that day, he started changing his habits. He worked small jobs during the day and learned new skills at night. He stopped calling himself useless. He stopped fearing failure. Slowly, his confidence returned. Months later, he started a small business. Years later, he became successful enough to support his family and inspire others around him. One day, someone asked him, "What changed your life?" The young man smiled and replied, "My life changed the moment I stopped believing that I was worthless." Years passed after that life-changing seminar with Tony Robbins. The young man who once sat in the last row filled with pain and hopelessness was no longer the same person. His small business had grown. People in his town respected him. He had money now, confidence now, and a smile that once seemed impossible. But deep inside, there was still one fear he never talked about. The fear of losing everything again. One cold evening, while sitting alone in his office, he stared out the window at the heavy rain falling from the sky. His phone rang suddenly. It was bad news. A business deal had failed. He lost almost everything in one night. His hands started shaking. The old fear returned. The same darkness. The same voice inside his head whispered again, "You were never meant to succeed." That night, he could not sleep. He walked through empty streets under the rain, remembering the days when he had nothing. The pressure became so heavy that tears filled his eyes again. For a moment, he wanted to quit. Then suddenly, he remembered something Tony Robbins once told him. "You're strong.